but I do like the 2018 Optic Hollow, and I feel that that is a really good gold standard for Josh Allen.
Extending, and able to find Stephon Diggs.
It's gold. It's gold, baby. Gold is hot. Gold is hot.
Anything when there's a winner or a loser. It's Hurts going for the end zone. It's caught.
And I love the 2004 Topps design right here, man. These 2004 Topps Chrome, that same rookie year as Larry Fitz. I guarantee you someone would reach $130 on this Gabe Davis if he puts up another game in a primetime scenario. We talked about the first Thursday night game against the Rams. Gabe Davis goes off for anything like he did in the AFC Championship game. Are you kidding me? Of course, they're going to reach for this card.
Fires it into wide open. Remarkable. Touchdown. Buffalo.
Right now, his 2018 Optic Hollow is $125 raw compared to Josh Allen's at $500. That's a big difference there, Steve, considering that Lamar Jackson had the season that he did.
Jackson pocket collapsing. He's going to dart. He's going to run inside the 5. Jackson in for the touchdown. Oh, kind of quick by Lamar Jackson.
I know that that's your boy, so I had to share it.
Heck yeah, man. The Mississippi mustache, dude. I'm going to be looking for him in like the 20th round of this draft.
Luciu with time, directing traffic. Now Fires, middle of the field. Caught. First down, Jacksonville.
Brady only has like 135 different rookie cards made for him, whereas Patrick Mahomes has close to 2,000.
He throws this ball from his shoestring around the guy. That's what
Look at Tua now climbing up in the past 7 days. His growth in buy it now, sold volume in graded cards on eBay is up 70%.
Tua first and 10 going deep. And what a catch is made by Waddle.
And with Rookie Ticket Auto, there's fewer cards in this set for Joe Burrow.
And now he fires downfield to Jamar Chase. He got it. Wow. Takes it away.
It's a first down. We got 1:20 seconds left. Y'all boys gonna play Madden?
It's numbered out of 25. 25 out of 25. It's Gronk doing the Gronk spike signature moves. Look how sick that is.
Got it for the touchdown.
T-minus 1 minute.
More juice for the gyro.
Like the juice.
T-minus 50 seconds.
Now, at the point where we're at, it is a lot easier for new people to get up to speed really quick.
T-minus 40 seconds.
Let's go.
That's a W. That's E1. That's E1. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight?
T-minus 30 seconds.
Tyreek Hill taking over our camera. I think there may be a penalty for excessive celebration, but you know what? I'm going to let that one slide.
T-minus 20 seconds.
That's what I'm talking about. Now you having some fun.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Take a deep
4,
breath.
3,
This is it right
2,
here.
1, 0.
The first full week of NFL preseason gets underway this Thursday night. The NFL is squeezing in 16 games in the matter of a 4-day period. Guys, it's an incredible hype train. So glad to have you here. I'm your host, Andy. Got Steve, the Hitman, Caladesi with me. Steve, how you doing, man?
I am doing great, partially with the assistance of caffeine, but I am doing great. And we got a lot of football stuff going on. It's a good time. It's a good time, and it's only going to get better over the next few weeks.
Very true, very true. We're here to try and pinpoint who this year's Marquez Callaway is going to be, or who the next Romeo Doubs is going to be. We're talking about must-have players that we want to have in our collection, if not already, to flip this preseason. So, guys, let's dig in. We got a lot to get into, so let's just dig straight into it.
Rock and roll. Let's go. What do we got? What are we starting off with tonight, Andy?
Let's go. Let's see who's in the chat, man. There's already a bunch of people out there. Got to say what's up to JJ Bama, Halo's Finest. We got our man, the content director, 402 Collector in the house. Got Steve with the Deadpool shirt on. I'm digging it, man. Yeah,
that's right. I guess we should start off with a little just recap from the Hall of Fame game. And I have a take from that. A lot of people are dogging Jacobs. And let me tell you, you shouldn't be, because all healthy running backs played. I repeat, all healthy running backs played. There was a running back that did not play. He was a rookie. He was also not healthy. All healthy running backs played. So no need to freak out.
Well, I'm not freaking out per se, but it does show me that, okay, like I'm just like reading between the lines. There's a new coach in town, Josh McDaniels from the New England Patriots. What New England's infamous for, a running back by committee approach. And a new coach also kind of means like maybe he doesn't have loyalty to the first round draft pick that the Raiders spent in 2019 on Josh Jacobs. Like, I think maybe he looks at Josh Jacobs as more of an expendable asset. Like, let's make you earn the job. You run a 4.6 out there. You're not as fast as Zamir White. Let's see what Zamir White can do in the receiving game. He didn't get very many opportunities like that in college. So I almost think there's a level playing field, though, Steve, for these running backs in Vegas. Josh Jacobs, Amir Abdullah. They also brought over Brandon Bolden from the Patriots, who's a veteran who's got experience with Josh McDaniels. So it's an interesting situation. Definitely looks like a committee approach to me anyways.
Over the years, the Patriots have used fewer running backs by committee, though they've used one. And if you look last year, they used Rhamondre Stevenson in a bit of a complementary role. And they didn't use as many guys in that third role, right? So they did kind of focus on just using two main guys. I think that's kind of what you'll see here, with a little bit of, what's his name? Kenyon Drake mixed in on passing downs occasionally, or as a receiver. But I mean, Jacobs is just too good and carried them down the stretch last year for them to just forget about him. And if they're not planning on re-signing him, they're not going to limit his touches, because they're just going to use him, run him into the ground. So I wouldn't be too worried about that.
All right. So what's going on? Ramrod. We got Jay Castle in the house. We got Shant in the house. Filthy. Dope 72. D-Dubs. Shelly Barnhart. What's going on, Shelly? Glad to have you in the house. Actually, one of my must-have preseason flips is on the Falcons. We're going to talk about him. So Derek says, fear Ayuk. Oh, Josh Jacobs get the Lev Bell treatment this year. Such an interesting situation to see that he was the only veteran starter that was out there for the Raiders offense in the beginning of the Hall of Fame game. Like, what's going on here? It's the Hall of Fame game, man. Got Bush Leaguers in the house. Ken Payne's back in the house. All right, let's go. Let's look at these matchups. Let's talk about who's playing, and let's get your must-have plays for these upcoming games here. Look at the first Thursday night games, and I've got the over-unders from Vegas pulled up because I want to get a sense of which teams are expected to put up a lot of points. Let's see if there's any shootouts projected from Vegas here. We've got the Giants at the New England Patriots Thursday at 7 p.m. Then Thursday at 7:30 p.m. we've got the Titans at the Baltimore Ravens. I think you got one of your must-have players in this matchup here, Giants, Patriots. Steve, talk to us.
I think that there's just too much sleep on Kadarius Toney, and he's just a guy that's too good to be going for so cheap. And I did send you a couple of eBay links on him, and he looked great last year. Obviously, the key for any Giants receiver is going to be to stay healthy, but if he's going to stay on the field, I think that he's going to open a lot of eyes, and he's a guy that you just need some exposure to if you're going to be picking up some cards.
Yeah, I mean, this DB kind of lost a step there at the beginning of the route, but I mean, his speed is nonetheless is nothing but extraordinary. He's incredibly fast. The guy has, 5'11", 193, but runs a 4.43, 4.38 on his pro day. So incredibly explosive burst. Catch radius is pretty solid as well. And so you're talking about his value being undervalued. Here's a playoff ticket, rookie ticket auto, numbered out of 99. I would probably go to venture that he's going to get preseason action too. One of the clear paths to break out in the preseason is definitely being on the younger side, and this guy definitely generates that FOMO. These are two massive markets, Steve, so I really like that. You have the New England Patriots and the New York Giants, massive markets, fan bases. So we could absolutely see action, especially with this being the first game. So they get 30 minutes before the next game kicks off, and it'll be the only game on TV Thursday night. So there's going to be a massive amount of people watching it. And if he's out there as part of the first team offense, which Daniel Jones, we've already seen him. There's that viral clip of him throwing this one right here of him throwing the sailor. Like, apparently this is not the only pass that Daniel Jones has made like this so far in camp. And so I bet you he's going to be out there. Steve, you think he's going to be out there this Thursday?
I think they play a couple series. And here's the thing is, like, obviously you're seeing like one clip, but I did read another report where they said like a lot of the bad passes and interceptions in the practice that you're referring to were screw ups from the receivers running bad routes and stuff like that. So it can't all be on him, at least not yet, but definitely something to keep an eye on. But Tony's still going to be fine, even if Jones doesn't have like an exceptional camp.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, we saw not the exact thing, but we saw similar experience going on with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and their camp and their preseason. So, I mean, it's not to say that, this could be a dip before an impending breakout, but I definitely think this means that they're going to be out there for the preseason, like with the first team offense, at least for the first quarter. This could lead to some very interesting opportunities on the offense for him to break out, put up some incredible highlights. These guys just absolutely incredible in the open field for a rookie on limited opportunities last year because he only played 10 games. He did struggle with a little bit of injuries. So, but I mean, if you look at his game log from week 5 last year when they played Dallas Cowboys being covered by Trayvon Diggs, could not hang with him at all, man. In fact, Kadarius Toney went off for 10 receptions, 189 yards. 189 yards. So,
and don't forget, they do play the Cowboys twice.
Mm-hmm.
He could put up like 6 games worth of yards in 2 games against that defense. So something to keep note.
Absolutely. My pick from this matchup is Rhamondre Stevenson. I'm going to keep buying Rhamondre Stevenson until his values get to where they should be, a respectable amount, because this guy is not only a bowling ball, a bruiser of a running back, but he's also got really soft hands, and he's got the ability to catch the ball. Last year, he had 14 receptions for 123 receiving yards, 605 rushing yards on 133 rushing attempts. This is a contract year for Damian Harris. Right now, Rhamondre Stevenson could easily trade Damian Harris. So they just drafted 2 new running backs, and Rhamondre Stevenson becomes the lead back for New England. And I think there's been mixed reports from camp. There's been some reports where Rhamondre Stevenson was the lead back and he was becoming the RB1. And and for New England, and he was actually being steamed up a little bit up draft boards, closer to where Damian Harris's ADP is. But I think that's cooled off. I think that's definitely cooled off since then. There's been some mixed reports coming out about Mac Jones, and I think that Rhamondre Stevenson does not have the respectable values on his rookie cards that will be there at the end of the day, especially at some point. It could be this preseason. It could be early this season. They play the Dolphins in week 1. So I like the matchup this weekend for him to get some opportunities with the first team offense or potentially the second team offense. He could be out there. So that's, that's nice. You want to see that, plus the massive market. And look at this. This auction is a green rookie ticket auto Pulsar from Optic Contenders. We love I do. I love the Optic Contenders rookie ticket auto set because of the condition, the card stock, the chrome finish. And this is only $45 right now at 10 bids, Steve.
And we mentioned, we talked about this yesterday off camera. And I think that, guys that are rookies or guys that are rookies that are still having rookie cards printed for them, like there's still new sets coming out, like Select and stuff like that. They have a little bit of a leg up for investment purposes because, they're looked at as rookies or young players, even though there's still plenty of other young players that aren't rookies, but not necessarily the point here. But people are looking at youth for investments, typically 99.9% of the time. So I think a lot of his breakout value is going to come from, like you said, a bell cow role. If he can get a 3-down roll, I mean, his values will skyrocket.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. That's what I'm banking on, man. And right now the price point is very sweet, and we see how sensitive the market reacts to Patriots players specifically going off. What about this Tennessee Titans Baltimore Ravens matchup? It's a 31-point over/under. We know both these teams run heavy teams, like to play defense, run the ball. Anybody interesting from this matchup that is one of your must-have guys, or are we moving on?
I'm gonna say that not must-have, but maybe dabble a little bit. And here's why: if there was a week in the preseason where this guy could do something, he's going to be out on the field. And I'm talking about Dez Fitzpatrick. He's of the same rookie class as Tony. And here's the thing: Ravens secondary, not very good. And depending on when he's on the field, it could be against the second or third string. So you're talking about a guy that could light it up. This could be the Marquez Callaway 2.0 of the offseason, or the preseason, this year. And not just that, but actually going into the regular season, none of the guys ahead of him on the depth chart are really making a big statement for playing time. I mean, yeah, Robert Woods is there, and they drafted Treylon Burks, but it's been really quiet around those guys. And they will eventually need 3 wide receivers on the field. So it's definitely a name to watch.
Yeah, you have a good point. Robert Woods is definitely not going to be out there on the field. Veteran, no need to be out there. We probably won't even see Ryan Tannehill or Derrick Henry. I think, we're going to see Malik Willis, which is exciting. So people are definitely going to tune in for that. I think they're definitely going to give Malik Willis some playing time. And Dez Fitzpatrick, yeah, he's young. He's a 4th-round draft pick from last year out of Louisville. He didn't have a massive college dominator, but he did have a 71st percentile college target share, 24% college target share. He also was a deep threat at 83rd percentile average yards per reception at Louisville. He's 6'2", 202. Not the fastest guy, but not the slowest guy either. Like solid speed, pro day 4.49, typically a 4.54. So about middle of the pack, above average speed score, catch radius. I find him a very interesting play because there is professional, NFL uniform product out for him. You picked out this auction ending Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. And if I could get a rookie ticket auto for like $5 or less, like, let's go.
That's a huge part of the play. His stuff is so cheap, right? Like Marquez Callaways were so cheap when they went from $2 to $3 to like $80 to $100 overnight, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. And you have a few weeks during the preseason to make these plays. If your objective is to flip these guys before the season starts, now's the time, because you still have to wait to get the card in the mail, list it yourself, and then sell it. So something to kind of be, if you haven't picked them up yet, now is the time to get involved with that.
Yeah, and you can see there's reports from camp about Malik Willis throwing these touchdown passes to Dez Fitzpatrick. So if Malik has been gravitating towards Dez and playing with that second, third team offense, then this is a prime opportunity Thursday night. We already know the Baltimore's secondary is a weak point of theirs. This is an opportunity for the Titans, rookie basically talent here with Malik Willis and Dez Fitzpatrick, second-year wide receiver, to put up some noise, and we could absolutely see that translate over into demand for his rookie cards. Because, like you said, Treylon Burks is not, he's not they drafted him as their alpha number one, and he's a big body, like a big run blocker. But Robert Woods is coming off an ACL. They run the ball a lot, so I think this is just an interesting preseason flip here. I could see it happening. Like there's a situation where he goes out, gets 3 big touchdowns from Malik Willis, and all of a sudden he pops off. A bunch of people will go and buy a bunch of Dez Fitzpatrick cards, only for him to not really do much during the season. But it doesn't matter because the hype will be there after this Thursday night. It's very possible. So I like to play.
I'll be watching for sure.
All right.
You got anything for that matchup, or are we dunking over to the next one?
No, we're dunking over to the next one because I think that this Atlanta Falcons, Detroit Lions one is very interesting to me. Both of these teams have big fan bases. There's also a lot of rookies and young talent on both of these teams. And I think there's a lot of ambiguity, and a lot of people are wanting to see what these young playmakers are going to look like, what these new faces are going to look like. So here at the Atlanta Falcons at the Detroit Lions. It's also Friday at 6 p.m., so it's going to be on before the other games, kind of getting that initial, hype, people in happy hour here on the East Coast at 6 p.m. on Friday. Let me see if I could tab over. Yep, here we go. So the guy I want to talk about is Drake London, top wide receiver taken off the draft board from USC. I absolutely love this dude. I mean, look at how he's just destroying people in camp, but it's been really quiet, man. I mean, he's talking about a number 8 overall draft pick from, USC, and we don't have a ton of combine information from him. He didn't test at the combine, but he does have a well above average scouting grade. He also had a massive target share at USC. He had a massive college dominator. Put up over 1,084 yards on 88 receptions in 2021 at a 71% catch rate at just 20 years old. And that was on 7 touchdowns. So I'm already looking at what this guy's doing in camp. I'm like, okay, all right, Desmond Ritter's probably going to be out there. Mariota's probably going to be out there because he's an expendable asset. And I look at the prices for a number 8 overall draft pick. And Kyle Pitts has got hype. I say hip. Yeah, Kyle Pitts has got hype just from his production alone as a rookie tight end and what he did. And with the size of the Atlanta fan base, this matchup, 6 p.m., I'm really liking Drake London. Here's an auction here ending Wednesday at 11:15 a.m. Currently only $12.49, Steve. This is numbered out of 75. How you feeling about these 2022 Chronicles Spectra serial number short print? I like it because it's got a rookie card logo, and I know it's got a thick card stock, really nice chrome finish, like some kind of dragon scale design in these swirls. How you feeling about this play, Steve?
I'm a big Spectra guy, and I love Spectra, and I think that you're right. I mean, there's going to have to be 2 wide receivers on the field, and I think that it's going to be him and Bryan Edwards, and then Pitts probably being the target dominator. But I like it, and the pink Spectras are very nice. They do have that little dragon scale shimmer on there, and until pro cards start coming out for these guys, this is going to be what's in demand.
Yeah, man, you nailed it. This is what's going to be in demand. And I'm looking at the other options. I like the Spectra better than the Recon. I like it better than the Status. I definitely like it better than these legacy cards. I'm not big on these legacy cards. The only thing that I probably like better is the Optic college tickets. and they're very hard to find his autograph on those. And with these Spectres being serial numbered, it's pretty much the nicest card, other than maybe these optic rated rookies. Like I see these doing pretty good as well, just because they have that rated rookie logo, and you can find like short print parallels. But there's so much of this stuff kind of making its way to auctions right now. This is like, like look at this one, like optic hollow for $325 with 93-cent shipping. That's absolutely an opportunity right there with the limited variety and selection that's out for him. The release schedule has already been pushed back. Like Prism Draft Picks is not being released till September 16th. I wouldn't expect Donruss and the pro uniforms to be released until like, I don't know, mid-October or something at this point. So it seems like everything's pushed back still. And that makes these cards pretty nice plays, Steve.
You know what? I will say this. If anyone watched any coverage from the National, at the National every year, they give out these little silver packs that have cards in them. And some of the rookies from 2022 are in those packs in pro uniforms. Now they're photoshopped, obviously. But so there are a handful of pro uniform cards floating around out there.
Yeah. Are you talking about these right here, the Panini Instants?
Those are actually redemptions from your Panini instant points, the ones you get from the packs. But there are it just says Panini, on the card, and then there's like a 2 or 3 tone with a serial number on it. So they are out there. They're not in abundance because they were only available at the National, but they are out there.
Yeah, that's interesting. I see these Panini Instants, and you can see a lot of them are numbered cards, and the ones that have autographs on them are going for a lot of money. Like they're going for a lot of money. I find these interesting as well because they're serial numbered, and they are printed with the Panini brand and a rookie card logo and a pro uniform. So this is definitely something to keep your eye on. I really hope that these aren't some type of print on demand, because it's not in like an engraved serial number. But
I was going to comment on that actually. Yeah, the instants are never individually serial numbered. Only the print run is stated. So there's not going to be like you're not going to get it's a numbered card, but you don't know which number it is, right? They just give you the total print run when you get the card. And, those, if you look up the ones of Burrow and Herbert and the 2020 guys, like those started off incredibly cheap when they came out. And eventually they got ran up quite high. So they are quite high still. So now's actually a really good time to get in on these kind of cards, because if the guy catches fire, these are essentially like their first pro uniform cards.
Yeah. The Romeo Dobbs one that's autographed went for like $250 for reference. When a guy gets steamed up like that as a rookie with a good quarterback and a big market team, it's the kind of hype you can see. I'm really kind of betting on that. Like we're not going to see, obviously Jameson's not going to be around till probably October at some point, coming off that championship game ACL injury. So I know you're chomping at the bits to answer this question or shed some comments on Brian Edwards here. Shout out to Christian Stefanski for the question.
I got to say, if you are a Brian Edwards fan or collector like myself, you probably got a bit nervous after he was traded. But much to my surprise, his hype has actually grown since getting traded to Atlanta. You can't just walk off with his rookie ticket autos anymore like you used to be able to. I mean, they fetch a substantial value now, not quite in the realm of his classmates, but compared to what you could have got him for a couple months ago, it's actually pretty impressive. But I will say this, they are. I do think Brian Edwards is probably going to play as the opposing starting receiver. We'll see like how much target share he can carve out for himself, but I think it's pretty interesting. He went from a guy that could have been huge in that offense if he had a prominent role, but he was just too buried. Now he's in a prominent role, but in a very weak quarterback-led offense. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what he pulls off. But yeah, I mean, he used to be able to walk off with his rookie ticket autos for like $8 to $12. I see a lot of them going now for like 20 to 40 in that range. So That's
There's a
nice
Prism
one.
Silver Auto PSA 9 for currently under $20 out there. So that's pretty
Those in
nice.
case look gorgeous too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was high on Brian Edwards when he came out his rookie year, his sophomore year. Now he's heading into his third year. I'm not excited about like the Falcons, obviously making any type of playoff run, but I do think, like, to your point, he probably is going to get some preseason activity. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot in Atlanta because they're going to be in a lot of negative game script scenarios. It's interesting, man. The guy had a 95th percentile college dominator rating out of South Carolina, drafted in the 3rd round. He also had 88th percentile college target share and broke out at an incredibly young age. He wasn't even 18 years old yet. His breakout year was South Carolina. So, 6'3", 212, pretty big stature. I mean, it'll be really interesting, but we know he's got that big play ability. We've seen him do it with the Raiders, and now he's going to get a shot with the Falcons, and there's a very real possibility he will be out there with the first-team offense preseason this Friday. So that's interesting, Steve. Yeah, I like the play.
It's interesting. Not a lot of people know this because it kind of got buried by other news around the time he got traded. But the coach said that they traded him because he was too much like Devontae Adams. Now, you could take that for what it's worth. Could be coach speak. But I think what he meant is they're too similar in a role type. And there was just nowhere for him to be on the field with the other team. So I think it's exciting. I mean, he could go off. Maybe he won't because of bad quarterback play. But I think it's pretty interesting. But we were actually on that game still. I'll throw a name out there that I like real quick, and that's DJ Chark from the Lions. And he was one of the guys to begin working first with Goff this offseason. And he's been incredible in spurts. He does have a little bit of an injury history to him, but when he's out there, he does big things, and it's going to be easy for him to get lost in the sea of talent that is the Lions playmakers right now. But that's a guy that I would love to have a couple pieces of and even have on my fantasy squad too.
Yeah, man. I'm a big fan of DJ Chark. Honestly, at his current ADP on Underdog Fantasy, which, by the way, guys, we will be doing a doubleheader live stream tonight. So after this live stream is over, in like 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to hop on another live stream and do a live Underdog Fantasy draft looking at the current ADP, how it's shifted. Look at the biggest risers and fallers. Some of these guys are going incredibly cheap. DJ Chark is one of them. He's going cheap in fantasy. He's going cheap on eBay in the football card market. I love it, Steve. Guy runs a 4.34. He's 6'3", 199. People forget that DJ Chark had over 1,000 receiving yards in 2019 with a variety of different quarterbacks. But one of those guys was mainly Gardner Minshew. That's right, baby. The Mississippi mustache. So, I mean, the guy's got absolute potential. You see him here making an incredible catch in training camp. He's got that dog mentality. And unfortunately, he missed last season with a broken ankle. So he's on a prove-it deal with the Lions. The Lions are an ascending offense. They've got a lot of young talent. Jared Goff is going to be slinging that ball like you would not believe. So I've got some DJ Chark rookie ticket autos. I'm very excited about this play. I think he's incredible value. Good pick here, Steve. And look at this, a buy it now rookie ticket auto for $18. Steve coming with the heat. There's a live snipe for you guys right there. Yeah. You can't beat that.
Yeah, honestly, I was worried when I sent you that last night that it wouldn't still be here today. So, I mean, that's a no-brainer for a guy of that playmaking ability. That just seems like a freebie. So, congrats, because I know one of you is going to buy that in the next 20 minutes or so, or maybe sooner. But here's the thing: is that's a great guy to pick up for your fantasy squad too, and especially in a best ball league. You want guys that can make those big plays without necessarily needing a lot of volume. So that's a guy just from an investment standpoint or a fantasy standpoint, I would definitely take a look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Yeah, his ADP currently 146. Now he's seen a slight uptick. So he's one of those guys where we can absolutely see this appreciation heading into the season throughout the preseason games, exposure. Love it, love it, love it. What do we got here? That was my Drake London highlight. There's my Drake London play.
What do we got next? Browns, Jags.
Browns, Jags. Yeah, we hit on the man Dez Fitzpatrick. We got Browns, Jags. Oh wait, DJ Chark was your play. Now
Yes.
we're going to the Jets because I like this matchup. I think this matchup is going to have a ton of eyeballs, Steve. This Jets Philadelphia Eagles, because Zach Wilson's heading to his second year. He needs as many reps as he can. They have a very young offense. You also have a second year for their head coach and their offensive coordinator, Robert Saleh and Matt LaFleur, going into their second year, with Zach Wilson going in his second year. Young offensive line, young playmakers in Elijah Moore and a rookie Breece Hall, second-year player Michael Carter. Rookie Garrett Wilson is actually where I'm putting my attention right now, only because we know how freaking good Elijah Moore is, and he's earned that number one wide receiver spot with the Jets. If Zach Wilson could take a step forward, though, I think Garrett Wilson could have a serious breakout performance here in the preseason. Comes with a first-round draft pedigree from Ohio State. He was incredibly good there. And the guy currently, I believe, is undervalued in the card market, especially when you look at the limited amount of product that is available for him. And he's already made like some sick one-handed catches in preseason.
What we got there, an ink blot?
Yeah, it turned into an ink blot, man. Probably got there we go. I had to rewind it, man. It's like a VHS over here. You had to rewind it. Got to the rainbow scribbly screen at the end. I had to click the rewind button.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, so I hope to see some more of this. As long as he sticks to football, because this is Garrett Wilson at Topgolf, and that he almost maybe just ended his NFL career by knocking somebody out with a golf club.
Yeah, maybe guys like Rodgers and a couple of the other guys need to take him out and show him how to swing a club, maybe.
Incredibly athletic, but
that was pretty bad.
He's standing so far away from the ball, and you got to grip that club, man. You got to hang on to the club.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you could that'd be an awful preseason injury. How'd you hurt yourself? Topgolf. You could never live that one down.
No. And I'm going back to the Spectra here. I found a beautiful Spectra that's got these sparkly disco. It's got the disco prism on it. This guy put numbered to 99 in an atypical way that you would list a serial numbered card on eBay. He's a little bit of a newer seller here, only 88 feedback, but it's 100% positive. Currently, this card is only $2.25 in auction, ending tomorrow at 5:43 p.m. This being numbered out of 99 with that rookie card logo. Again, very limited availability for Garrett Wilson right now on eBay. This presents a very interesting buying opportunity.
You know what's cool about that card is even though it's blue, it does actually kind of go really well with the uniform. And since we're talking Spectra does have a nice green parallel. So if you wanted to kind of mix and match and have him in his college uni with like the pro uni color match, if you will, you could definitely do that.
Yeah, I'm even okay with some of these Leaf cards just because I know that Leaf has a lot of fans out there. And there's a lot of people like having held a Leaf card in my hands. I understand why, because they're actually made with really nice quality. And if you can find like a Leaf, like this Leaf green wave here is nice. It's not serial numbered though, so that's my only drawback from it. I like the rated rookies. We talked about those. This one is, man, it's unfortunate when people don't start their auctions at 99 cents because they're afraid of what actual market value is on their card. This person started their auction at $100 with a reserve. That's just unfortunate because this would be a card, because I do think that he is flying under the radar right now. He's flying under the radar, but this is for a very limited time only.
Yeah,
like,
no,
this is nice.
That's going to be a situation to watch. I know that we're both kind of excited to see what the Jets can do this season, and they're young. They've got a lot of draft capital in these young players, and they've had a little bit of off the field hype, a little bit rated R off the field hype from their quarterback. And I think it's just like a cool, fun situation. You like seeing these young teams and seeing can they start making a name for themselves. I think that they will impress at least a couple games this year and, eventually pave a way for maybe the Jets to become a good franchise again.
Now, this is a weird card, I'm going to say, because the double picture here, Steve, I'm not sure what they were thinking when they did that. That's a little strange, but I do like this big rookie banner on the front, rookie card logo. Cracked ice is incredibly liquid, incredibly popular. They also managed to get a Jets logo on the bottom right of this card. It's also clearly gold. It's numbered out of 20. So this is going to be advertised as this person advertised it as a yellow diamond. Like, it's just gold cracked ice to me, numbered out of 20. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I'd have to go check out tcdb.com and see what they've got in their database for this card. But sure looks like a gold cracked ice to me.
It looks like he's like a scene from Ant-Man, like he's shrinking from the top of the card down to the bottom.
Oh, speaking of the Jets, man, we got our guy, Jets Crazy 87 in the chat, man. We got our number one Jets fan.
Yeah, Ramrod said it in the chat. College uni cards are not cool unless you're a super fan. I mean, yes and no. Here's the thing is it depends on what you're really buying them for. If you're buying them because you like the player or the team, doesn't really matter. If you're buying them as an investment, just know that you have a limited window till the pro stuff comes out. And as a rule of thumb, typically, once the pro stuff comes out, some of those will go down. Now, there was exceptions last year where guys broke out after the pro stuff came out. Mac Jones, Micah Parsons. Actually, I was glad I hung on to some of those because I ended up getting a nice buck for them where I wouldn't have if I had sold them sooner. So obviously there's exceptions to all rules.
Yeah, I would say most, if not all of the players we have talked about tonight are for instantaneous flips. These are guys that I'm looking to must have in my collection to flip this preseason. I'm talking about instant profit. Literally buy these guys for a breakout here in preseason week 1, preseason week 2, week 3 at the latest, flip them heading into week 1. Plus, I mean, yeah, college cards, uniform cards aren't just generally widely accepted. You got a great point, but it's the only thing out for these guys right now. So this is the stuff that people are going to buy. Like, you better believe if there were cards for Isaiah Pacheco on the Kansas City Chiefs, that people would be buying them. It doesn't matter if he's in his college uniform from a little school in Nevada, wherever he went to college. People are going to be buying them because he's on a high octane offense and he's making massive waves from, being drafted in the 6th, 7th round to now potentially becoming a starting running back for the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But there's no card for him. There's literally not an instant. There's not a college card. There's not there's nothing, man. You can get a signed jersey or a signed helmet. That's it. I've looked already. And that's one of the challenges that we deal with investing in rookies. We have to deal with what's available to us in the market, understanding that pro uniform cards are coming eventually and more sets are being released eventually. We're looking to, boom, quick flip on these guys in these college uniforms.
Yeah, even if you look at the last year's draft class, like the Trevor Lawrences and stuff like that. I mean, the optic hollow rated rookies of the college uniforms, they were selling for a premium when they came out, and now you can get them for $40, $45, $50, whereas they were probably touching 100, when they were out. So, there's obviously a demand for what's current. What's current is him wearing a Jaguars uniform. So that's what people are going to want. But if you're a Lawrence fan from college and you don't really follow the NFL, well, that's a win for you because you're able to now buy that card at a reduced price.
Shout out to AB. AB's got a heads up, a PSA here, which I have read. I was talking to Carter about this last night, Steve. I want to get your opinion on this. See if you've read anything further about XRCs being released for 2022 draft picks as part of the 2021 select hobby product. I thought it was XRC cards for the 2021 rookies, but AB is saying that he believes it's XRCs for the 2022 draft picks instead of redemptions, which would be very interesting. But I also read that the hit rate, I think, on these are going to be 3 per case of hobby boxes. So not a true case hit, but also not like a hobby 1 per hobby box on average. So there's 12 hobby boxes in the case. This would be 3. So you'd be getting 1 per every 4 hobby boxes. So I think this goes in line with what Andrew Perry told us, last time he was on with the 3 of us were talking about the potential print run of XRCs being about 150 or less.
Yeah, I like it. I actually wonder if they're going to do it with this year's draft cards, because that would mean they would have to already have the pro uniform photos taken. Whereas in the past, they always did it as a redemption, and you would receive the card later with the player in the pro uniform. And a lot of times it was you didn't know who you were getting yet. It was QB3, right? So whoever the third quarterback drafted was. So if it is the 2022 guys, you're going to know who you have right away. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do that.
Sean is got a question for us on one of our favorite veteran players, one of my favorite veteran players. Ramrod says he's overhyped, man. He's overrated, but I'm still a big believer in Russell Wilson, now the Denver Broncos. And Sean's question is, if you have a Topps Platinum and a Topps Chrome with PSA 10 pops 105 on the Platinum and 93 on the Chrome, how much of a difference should they command in price, i.e. Russell Wilson? Steve, what do you think here? I'm going to pull up a couple charts on this real quick. We're taking a quick side quest here for our man Sean.
So the pops are 105 and 93 is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think that you might just have a higher gem rate for the Platinum and maybe not as many submitted. I think that with Topps Chrome, you probably have most of them submitted, right? Because that's just like what people look for from those years. So I would say that would be my best guess. But I think that Chrome is going to kind of be like we've said in the past, like the modern day Prism. Topps Platinum is going to be maybe more like, I don't know, Mosaic, would you say? Which is still outstanding, but it's not quite what people consider like the pinnacle, the target rookie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would compare Topps Platinum. And I think that's a very fair comparison, either Mosaic or a select concourse type of card. I think Topps Finest is another one of those that you could compare to. You kind of compare them to the different tiers of select, like Topps Platinum would be select concourse, Topps Finest would be select premier level, and then like a Bowman, one of those Bowman cards, or maybe you could say Topps Magic is the select concourse, Topps Finest is the Topps Finest refractors are the field level kind of thing.
The nice thing,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Andy.
Well, I was just going to say it's not necessarily like print run. I don't know the big difference between print run of these cards, but just in terms of like demand and what I've seen from the hobby and kind of that liquidity that we talk about.
I can't say with a certainty because I was on a break from collecting at that time, but I know that for a long time, Chrome and Finest for sure was not retail. And I believe Topps Chrome wasn't either. Now, I don't know about Platinum. But I will say this about Platinum is it gives you that top end look, for a fraction of the price. So I mean, you're able to get into a really nice card for a fraction of the price. And if you're looking to get into some Russ rookies, especially at a high grade, that's a really good start off point, because I think that there's still a lot of room to grow, especially if they start playing well. And it being orange, like he mentioned, why not color match it with Denver?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great point. I've actually seen quite a bit of demand on that orange refractor Topps card. Russell Wilson. I still, yeah, this Topps obviously it's gonna get a few $100 more. If I just look at the 52-week low, right? The Topps Chrome X Factor PSA 10 52-week low is $540 compared to the Platinum PSA 10 X Factor. The 52 low is right at $200. So $300 difference in the 52-week low right there. I think that's probably what you're going to probably see in this card, just because the Topps Chrome is that much more liquid and demanded.
And the prices on those base prisms have gone insane since he was acquired by Denver. I mean, that card was, look at that 52-week high, man. That is juicy.
Yeah, no, it is really juicy. And if you could still find some of these, yeah, they're definitely, I like Russell's undervalued. I mean, so their revenge matchup week 1, I cannot get off of it. But we are going to get off the Russ topic. Appreciate that comment, Shant. Awesome, man, to have you out there in the chat. Hope you guys are enjoying the live stream. If you are, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not already, fix your life and subscribe to the Football Card Quest if you want to do anything with football cards, collecting or investing. We don't care who you are. We just want to talk football cards all day, every day. Billy T kind of followed that up and said, so Topps Chrome is better than Topps Platinum. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's better in terms of investors consider it more valuable. It's got a higher demand. It's got a higher liquidity rating. You can move in and out of the market easier with a comparable grade and condition of Topps Chrome than you can with Topps Platinum. And that's just how it is.
Yes, indeed, sir. Are we moving on to the next matchup?
Yes, sir. We sure are. Got a few matchups left on Friday night. Friday night's loaded, man. You got the Packers at the 49ers. You got the Cardinals at the Bengals. We know we're not going to see any Joe Burrow. I don't know if we're going to see any Trey Lance. I'll tell you, Jordan Love has been having a good camp so far. Jordan Love's been looking good. He's been throwing some good plays. Romeo Doubs has been breaking out over there, although he got shut down by Jair Alexander. So it's still, the jury's still out on him. I mean, he's like your quintessential clasher. I don't think he's anything comparable to Jordy Nelson, even though he's wearing that number 87. People have tried to already, liken him to that kind of potential breakout. And I think that's why the value is kind of getting crazy for him. I'm still interested to see what Christian Watson can do now that he's coming back from an injury that he already sustained early on. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen at Green Bay, San Francisco. Any of these other games jumping out to you on Friday night, Steve, or are we moving to Saturday?
Let's see here.
I can't remember.
I know I mentioned Browns Jags. Was that on Friday or Saturday? I might have mine out of order here.
Yeah, Browns Jags. Did I miss that? I think that's Thursday. I think that was a Thursday game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mentioned it.
No, it's a Friday. Yeah, it's a Friday at 7 p.m. Yeah, they just have a lot of games on Friday.
So here's the thing: is we kind of talked about this earlier, and a lot of this, what I'm going to say, hinges on who starts at quarterback. Okay, I think it's no mystery that I'm high on Amari Cooper, right? And he's not super young. He's not super old either. But if Deshaun Watson plays, here's the thing: Amari Cooper is a play this year, no matter who starts at quarterback. But if Deshaun Watson plays and only misses 6 games, this is the kind of guy that's going to win you your league because he's extremely undervalued. And if you look at splits with Dak Prescott last year, when this guy was in the lineup versus not, Dak's numbers were pedestrian. So something to think about, that this guy does make quarterbacks better, or maybe they just had amazing chemistry together. You could argue either or. But I think this guy's going to be their lean on, their alpha wide receiver this year, no matter who's throwing the ball. And I think that, yeah, he's not a rookie, but this is a guy that you got to get your hands on some of his stuff.
Got a couple more questions. I'm going to get to your questions, Ken and Peyton. Amari, I think, is a great just long-term play. I mean, you talk about college. Amari Cooper is a number 4 overall draft pick from 2015 out of where? Out of freaking Bama, man. Biggest college programs in the country, one of the biggest college programs. But he's got that stature. He's got that incredible route run, as you can see here. He's still cutting those DBs up. So Amari Cooper is still getting the job done out there. And when Deshaun comes back, he is going to be his number 1, and he can put up some really impressive numbers. And I mean, it's probably Deshaun probably get 12 games now or something. I'm sure they're going to settle with the NFL, because if not, the NFLPA is like going to sue them, and then the NFL is going to be forced to release all kinds of confidential information that they've held about their owners for so many years, and the owners are not going to like that. So I guarantee you they settle for like 10 or 12 games, and like probably a fine, because if you think about it, essentially Deshaun Watson got paid like $13 million last year to not even play football, and went through this whole, scandal. So, but Amari Cooper, I'm a big fan, and there's very few rookie ticket autos. In fact, I've got one, man. I just listed it today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've got a rookie ticket auto that I bought for $50, and I'm glad I did it. I bought this this is going back now, back probably like June time frame. Got it for $50.
They are hard to find.
They are hard to find, man. A lot of them are either graded because of he was the number 4 overall draft pick. It's not like the hobby didn't exist back then. A lot of people were submitting 2015 rookies to BGS. So there's a lot of BGS slabs of Amari Cooper out there. And you'll find a lot of his cards are graded because of that draft pedigree in the college he went to school. And it's not like he hasn't been productive either. I mean, he's been solid. Even his rookie year, he put up over 1,000 yards. It's just, one situation or the other. But and now he finds himself on the Browns without a great quarterback for the first half of the year, maybe potentially first 3 quarters. I still think he's a good. There's also a possibility that the Browns still make a serious playoff run, because Jacoby Brissett could just manage the offense, and they could lean on their run game and their defense to get them through, till Deshaun Watson gets back. They're not going to expect very much from Brissett.
And that's 2 different ways to look at it. Is if he performs very well with Brissett, it's obviously going to only go up from there once there's a quarterback upgrade. But not just that, but let's not forget how iconic the 2015 Topps Finest retro rookies look. And I have a couple of those myself, and you can actually get the unnumbered ones for relatively cheap. So if you're a fan of Amari Cooper or anyone else from that draft class, those are some must-gets.
Hey, and Amari Cooper, he's got a head on his shoulders, man. Level. It's level.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Without that, I don't know how he could continue to see the success that he's had up to this point.
He's had LASIK surgery. He's got a level head on his shoulders. That's all you guys need to know, man. It's confirmed. Check the box. There you go.
What do we got for the next game, Andy?
All right. So going back to that schedule, man, talking about the weekend here, moving into the weekend, got a lot of interesting matchups. Friday, Saturday, Kansas City Chiefs at the Chicago Bears in Soldier Field. Looking forward to seeing Isaiah Pacheco, even though he has no rookie cards, that dog. He does have sub 4.4 speed and is quickly earning himself a starting running back spot on the roster. And hey, you never know, man. Clyde Edwards-Helaire may not be on the team next year.
I think Jerick McKinnon might be a cut candidate.
Jerick McKinnon might be a cut candidate. All right, I'm just scrolling the comments. There's a question here. Oh yeah, I started. I want to make sure I start it. You guys carry on. We'll get to your question, Ken and Peyton. Don't worry. Saturday, Carolina Panthers at the Washington Commanders. Then you got the Indianapolis Colts at the Buffalo Bills at 4 p.m. You know what's interesting? This is the highest point total on the slate right here, Steve. This 37-point over-under, the Panthers at the Commanders, some NFC dumpster fire action, but is it? Is there anybody from this game that's sticking out to you?
We're talking about that Panthers game?
Preseason flips, yeah. Panthers, Commanders. Is it your turn for one of your must-have picks, or is it my turn?
I believe it's your turn, but I'll
my
say
turn.
this: you do have 2 starting quarterbacks in that game. 2 starting quarterbacks, arguably. So that might be why you have the higher point total, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Baker and Darnold are still in a competition for starting quarterback duties. Although Baker's got that inside track to get the starting job. And then the Commanders, I mean, Carson Wentz is an expendable asset. And I don't think that they would. I mean, if he got hurt, I could see him picking up Jimmy Garoppolo. We could see Commanders going out getting Jimmy G, or they give their rookie Sam Howell, give him a crack at it.
That would be interesting. I mean, they would go from a team that I had no faith in winning more than a handful of games to definitely being over 500 with Jimmy G for sure, if not slightly better than that.
Yeah, and I think Carson Wentz is definitely an upgrade over Heineke as well. And Sam Howell is an interesting guy, man. Unfortunately, his best comparable player, according to playerprofiler.com, is Sam Darnold. So that's not the greatest comparison for Sam Howell, but he did have a young breakout age, University of North Carolina, 5th round draft pick. Decent. I mean, it's like, meh, his college profile is meh, but you never know what could happen out there on the football field. But I see them probably picking up a guy like Jimmy G if Carson Wentz got hurt.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I think that QB battle is interesting to watch, because I think a lot of people just assumed that Baker was going to come in and win the job, but they're saying he's got an edge. But I'm also reading conflicting reports that it's a lot more even than most people think.
Yeah, so talking about weekend matchups, man, I always go back to the largest market in the NFL, and that is the Dallas Cowboys, and they're playing the Denver Broncos. And this is actually an 8:13. This is a Sunday game, right? 8:13 is that's Sunday. No, it's Saturday. Why don't they just put Saturday? You got all these others listed as Saturday. They got to put this as Saturday. They got to put it as 8:13 to try and confuse me. But no, it's Saturday, 8:13 Saturday. I'm looking at it right here. Saturday at 9 p.m. Cowboys at the Broncos. I think this is an exciting game. I think we could see some Javonte Williams out there on the field. I don't see them having a reason to roll out Melvin Gordon. Maybe Russell Wilson goes out there just because he's so durable and he is on a new team. I want to say Tom Brady was out there in 2020 when he signed with the Bucs, just for a couple series or something like that. So that's always interesting. And then you have the Cowboys. They have a lot of young talent. The guy that I'm specifically very, very high on is Jalen Tolbert on the Dallas Cowboys. But I also want to handcuff him because I think the Cowboys wide receiver depth chart has some ambiguity. James Washington fractured his foot already in training camp. He's going to miss 6 to 10 weeks. I think we talked about him last week. CeeDee Lamb can only soak up so many targets. Dalton Schultz can only soak up so many targets. Tony Pollard can only soak up so many targets. Amari Cooper leaves a pretty big vacated hole, who we just talked about. And this guy from South Alabama, Jalen Tolbert, very, very high on him. They drafted him in the 3rd round, even though he went to a tiny school at South Alabama. But what he did at South Alabama was incredible, man. He absolutely dominated. 97th percentile college dominator, 96th percentile target share. He basically was that team's offense. He runs 4.4. He's 6 foot, 194. And his yards per reception in college, 16.1. So he functions as that deep threat there for the Dallas Cowboys. He's already been proving it in training camp. He's made the first unofficial roster. If you look at the Cowboys' first official roster, look at that wide receiver 2. Alongside CeeDee Lamb is Jalen Tolbert right there, baby. And I think his cards are still super underpriced. He does have an autograph card from Bowman U with that first logo. So that's an interesting one. It really hasn't gone up from what I saw it at like a month or two ago. But he's also got college ticket autos. He's got in the zone autograph cards from Chronicles. So like this one right here. If this one's still out here tomorrow morning, y'all, I'm going to jump on this. $20 free shipping. Is numbered out of 99. College ticket auto on the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go. I bet you we see this guy put up a few touchdowns in preseason, and it's on like Donkey Kong.
There's a lot of targets to be had, and with Washington missing 8 to 10 weeks in that offense, and them just having a lot of injuries at receiver, I think that just by default he moves into a starting role. And on an NFC team like Dallas that's going to be airing it out, that's a guy you want to have, absolutely. And I believe there's another guy that you're a little bit peaked on that team as well, Andy.
Yes, actually, yeah, because I think you should handcuff him. Simi Fehoko has been doing some pretty interesting stuff in camp. Simi Fehoko is another one of those big dudes. He's like a clasher. You can see him here making a nice little play in camp.
Tight end, man.
Yeah, I mean, he honestly 6'4", 222 pounds. So for a guy that size at his pro day running a 4.4, he just doesn't have some of that slick route running ability that a Jalen Tolbert or CeeDee Lamb have, any of the elite guys, right? His best comparable player, according to Player Profiler, is Alshon Jeffrey. So just a big outside clasher. But at 6'4", 222, you could absolutely see them line him up on the outside. He's 24 years old. His height-adjusted speed score running a 4.4 at that size is 96th percentile. He's also got a pretty massive catch radius, so he's a big target out there. And he's got the full suite of NFL uniform products out. Look at these rookie ticket autos. The prices on these are still very good. And we could absolutely see this guy put up some touchdowns, get some red zone targets, and be a relevant part of this offense for the Dallas Cowboys early on. We're talking about they get the Buccaneers week 1, Sunday night. They also get the Broncos, though, this week in preseason. I like this guy because he's going to be out there on the field throughout the preseason process to earn his role on the outside there in that Cowboys offense.
And you know what? I mean, I don't know about this week because I haven't been following it that hard, but his stuff does get slept on. And maybe it's gone up a bit since the James Washington injury, but not a lot of people have eyes on the guy. So, I mean, it is an interesting play because it doesn't take a lot, as we've seen, for a guy to be a focal point for buying for that week. And you don't want to be buying that week. You want to be selling that week. Exactly,
man. So he's a perfect candidate on this massive market team to get into right now. I mean, even at like a mosaic autograph card, because it has so much nice color match elements, to the Dallas Cowboys. Getting that card for $10 leaves you so many possibilities to get out at 30. You're not buying in anywhere close to the potential ceiling of a card with this kind of scarcity. And I freaking love. I always have loved optic on-card autos because a lot of them come with serial numbers. But this year's optic on-card autos with the color, man, these cards are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at this one. Ending tomorrow at 2:51 p.m. Just an absolute fantastic time for buyers because so many people are going to be distracted. You got incredible color match with the Cowboys here. On-card autograph, serial numbered out of 99. What else could you want here? I mean, the card looks to be in great condition, maybe a couple nicks, but it's hard to tell if that's just some pieces of lint. The card's going to be pretty pack fresh here, and it's going to be relatively pack fresh. Simi Fehoko appears to have a head on his shoulders. So, I mean, Steve, this is nice. 22 watchers. So there's some hype picking up for this man right here.
And there's, obviously we're looking at considerable towards like the upper third of his cards as far as scarcity goes. You can get autos of him from like the pen pals, for example, for quite a bit less, probably in the $5 to $8 range, I would guess, unless they've gone up since I looked last. But there's ways to get in on a guy without having to go for like the most sought after variety of. So something to take into consideration. It's not always the guys that you think that you should be buying. It's these breakouts can happen for just about anybody, and he's on the right team to have a breakout and have people want to buy his stuff. So.
Yeah, and this is not a long-term play. It's not a long-term play for me. The guy didn't break out until he was almost 22 years old at Stanford. Never had more than the fact his numbers aren't like too terrible, but he hasn't done really anything yet in the NFL. And he never put up more than 580 receiving yards in college. So, there's a lot of ambiguity there. It's not like slick route running. It's pretty much like the law of conservation of targets, and somebody's going to get targeted in this offense. And I do expect regression from Dalton Schultz. And I think, obviously CeeDee Lamb's going to be the one. Jalen Tolbert, I like him, but if I'm buying Jalen Tolbert, I'm absolutely going to get some exposure to Simi Fehoko. Just to boom, flip it, flip it quick on Dallas Cowboys hype.
Yeah, I mean, at the start of the season, he might play the first 4 games as the 3, so that's going to be your window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be an immediate relist. See if I can flip it, how quick I can flip it. Like something like this with a big Dallas Cowboys star on it. You got just enough stitching there on a non-game worn patch. But it's just enough to give you 2 colors, a big Dallas Cowboys star, an autograph, the rookie card logo, and get that sucker for like $10. Like, dude, I mean, I could flip this for 30, 40 off of a single game performance here in the preseason or week 1. That's kind of, it's kind of it right there. It's not going to take much.
All right. Yeah, I like the Tolbert play a bit better, but at the end of the day, I'm not as keen on the college cards. So there's two different plays from that matchup there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
So there's only one matchup on Sunday, and I think you wanted to talk about your must-have guy. May have been going back here. Where are the we must have already talked about the Chiefs. I know.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't get my Chiefs play in yet. But while you're scrolling, I want to say something about that Bears. Or excuse me, not the Bears, the Saints game. Andy Dalton will be starting, and you and I talked at length of this before, and I think that there's a chance Andy Dalton might start a couple games this year. And Winston already rolled his ankle and got hurt, so I think anytime you're coming back from an injury, he might not necessarily hurt that knee again, but I mean he's going to be tuning it up. He's a little bit rusty, so if there was some Andy Dalton starts this year, that could be glorious if you're an Andy Dalton rookie card holder like that.
Let's go, baby. Let's get some red rifle out there for the Saints. Let's go.
If you actually looked at Bears receiving fantasy points last year, they all had better games with Andy Dalton behind center compared to Justin Fields. So just saying. But my play was actually from the KC Bears game was actually Mecole Hardman. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, he's been with the team for this amount of years. He's never really done much, but this could be like a wake-up call for this guy because his clips from the preseason, yes, it's the preseason, but have looked really good. And everyone else that they've brought in is very new to the organization. And I'm not really impressed with anybody they brought in, to be honest with you. So somebody's going to have to be either the guy or one of the guys. I think that he's going to surprise a lot of people. Now, he does have a little bit of value baked into his cards already because people were so high on him the past couple of years. But this one that I shared right there, that's a good starting price.
Very good starting price. Has that make offer button lit up. You know, the guy's got the speed, man, to flash it. He's kind of, you know, getting to the end of his rope in terms of his rookie contract, right? On the final year of his rookie contract, but he was a second-round draft pick from Georgia, and the guy was more of a deep ball threat. He's you know, he's got that 5'10", 187-pound frame, 4.3 speed, incredible wheels. He's just never become a really like a dominant figure in that offense. We know Travis Kelce's probably going to be target leader. Juju Smith-Schuster has had an incredible camp building that chemistry with Patrick Mahomes. My prediction is for Juju Smith-Schuster to be kind of the alpha there in the wide receiving depth chart. But Miko, if you actually look at it, next to Travis Kelce, has been on the team for the longest. You know, Juju just came in. Sky Moore was just drafted. You know, they just brought in all these running backs and stuff, talking about the running backs. So, and all these, I mean, like Josh Gordon, I mean, they have a really deep depth chart for running backs. There are a lot of, wide receivers, including Josh Gordon way down there, who's probably on the way out in his career at this point. But he's interesting, man. He's a stretch guy that provides some interesting upside. This price point is very, very juicy.
I mean, him being on that team is a greater part of the benefit. You know, MVS, he never did anything with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. I don't anticipate him doing much this year. I'm not completely sold on Juju. He has the talent, but he's used most of his energy spent on social media the past couple seasons. So he could bounce back. But again, even if he does bounce back, like it's KC, even if there's two good receivers on that team, there's plenty of room for a third.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot more. I think Patrick Mahomes is definitely. I mean, look at his values. They're down still quite a bit, man. Look at this optic value down 32%, 52-week low 699, 52-week. Well, that's had to be an anomaly.
This is kind of if you go back to early in the year last year, you and I kind of discussed this, and I kind of predicted a little changing of the guard, and it's something that doesn't happen overnight, but you're seeing the Mahomes prices slide, and this is kind of how it happens. You know, one guy slides down, another 2, 3 slide up, and there always has to be a guy at the top of the hobby, and it's going to probably be Josh Allen for a while. But I think Burrow's going to challenge him for that for a while. Mahomes, he's going to hang around, but if the Chiefs don't do well this year, I think his cards continue to slide. Honestly.
Yeah, you're probably right, man. Just because they got so expensive. Although I think Juju's prices are gonna continue to go up. I'm a believer. I think he's gonna have the best year out of those Chiefs wide receivers next to Travis Kelce. But Miko Hardman's got the speed, man. It's interesting stretch play. Steve, great play there, man. Great way to finish off the stream. I want to touch back on these guys in the chat. Touch back on these our peeps out there. These wild quest snipers out there and hunting in the woods.
I could answer that one real
deals.
easy. I picked up some 2020, the newest Prism set 2021 Prism White Sparkles. I picked up 3. I got them right here, actually, since I have them on my desk. I'll just flash them. I got the Khalil Mack, my guy. I got the Deontay Johnson, another one of my favorites. And I got Derek's favorite, just kidding, Irv Smith Jr. I'm real big on the white sparkles, and the Mac's going to be for me to keep, and then I'm probably going to move the other 2.
Well, I was talking about Zay Jones pretty heavily last week, so I bought a Zay Jones. I also bought One of my guys, Rachaad White on Tampa, who we did not talk about tonight, who is definitely another must-have player for me. Rachaad White, because I think he's also going to get some preseason time. It's only college products, so you got to have some cojones to go reach on some college product out there. But that got me a Drake London Optic Hollow. And yeah, you guys will just have to wait and see because I've got a mail day coming this Friday.
My favorite.
There might be a Colts wide receiver or two in there. Just saying. Shout out to Sean for that. So I got a few comments here. Brian Steeler, if you're still out there, we got to do something about this, man. I think Pure Graded X is doing Brian Steeler 96 dirty on his submission. So that will not go forgotten, my brother. We'll send him into card porn if you have some serious trouble, man. We'll help you get taken care of out there. Let's see what Christian said. Oh, yeah, we did that one. Did that one. Peyton. Ken Payne said, I don't know if this is relevant to pricing, but does a rookie player in his college jersey pick have value if he keeps his number in his pro jersey? I would say yes, especially if you have that serial number that also matches the college jersey and the pro jersey. That would be cool. And if he goes to a big college and has that draft pedigree, that draft capital behind him, being selected in the first 3 rounds, that definitely goes a long way to helping the cause as well.
I've seen people buy college cards with serial numbers with their pro uniform as something that they seek out. Now, I don't know how hard that's going to go on the resale value in general, but there are people looking for that.
Yeah, definitely. Peyton Speltz earlier said, do you think Geno Smith is a good buy for really cheap? His stuff is crazy low. Steve, I think it's crazy low for a reason. Geno Smith, not a spring chicken, and he's getting, from what I've seen, he's getting beat out by Drew Lock.
I mean, it started camp with the sound that he was going to start the season as the starter. Now, he might actually still start the season as the starter, but I am seeing the same thing you're seeing in that Drew Lock is starting to emerge. So he might not start the season. Drew Lock might not start the season, but he'll probably end the season unless there's a trade made and they do get a quarterback from somewhere else. But I think that the Geno Smith rookie card investment is a very, very big gamble.
Very big gamble.
You would be looking to get in and out of it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that Seattle defense has more holes in it than the Titanic did. And they're going to be in a lot of negative game script scenario. You're talking about virtually 0 playoff probability. Vegas is predicting them to win 4.5 games. And Pete Carroll wants to run the ball all day long. Doesn't matter if they're in a negative game script scenario. So the only really shining spot on that team is DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And, I'm not putting any money on Geno. Maybe if you want, because he's got some personal collection value to you, you're a Seattle fan, maybe you go get yourself a couple Geno Smith cards and just don't put very much money down on it. But it's a very, very long shot, very few paths, very few chances of him leading to any type of breakout in his values.
Well said.
In our opinion. Yeah. This must have been part of the 49ers debate that roars on every week between Ramrod and Derek and Messiah MVP and some of you other guys out there in the chat and Danny Gray, man. But come on, it's the Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle show out there in San Fran. And are you saying that Trey Lance is going to be such a good quarterback that he's going to be able to fuel 4 fantasy relevant receivers That would be incredible. Maybe Debo is just relevant because maybe he's going to be involved in the rushing game again. And Danny Gray is a good athlete, right? I mean, 4.3 speed, 3rd round draft pick, 6 foot 197. He's got a very DJ Chark-ish type of profile here. You know, I like that speed score and that speed. Apparently, Derek says he's got top 3 route running, or top 15 route running, rather. So, I mean, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I could see, you know, one injury away from him being really relevant. Maybe he gets a couple plays, and with that youth, 49ers fan base is massive, man. They go wild. They go wild at the littlest amount of hype, especially for these young guys. So, I could see definitely some demand. I would say he's be a guy that you definitely want to look at, getting some exposure to, getting some cards. They're super cheap.
I would say I'm just wildly afraid of just about anyone not named Ayuk for investment purposes personally, because they're going to use a lot of different running backs, and I just don't know how good the Trey Lance year 1 experiment is going to be as far as a overall quarterback production. But we do know from camp that he likes throwing to Ayuk, so I think that's the safest play of the group so far.
So this is what's funny, because Derek says, not now. Treat Geno Smith card. Oh, okay. So he said, treat Geno Smith's cards like a handful of. Oh, I can't say this stuff on a live stream. This is a family friendly show. We want to keep our monetization as well. No, but it's all good. Derek said, not now, but if you have some, sit on it. And so I looked up Danny Gray on eBay, and this is what come up. Danny Gray. They're bucket seats, man.
Wait. Did you just see butt crack?
Was there a butt crack crease? No, that's a flame.
Second one. There you go.
Second one. Yes, that does have a butt crack crease. Say that 3 times fast.
That's the butt crack parallel. There you go.
It's a butt crack parallel. I mean, these are nice looking Danny Gray seats, but I was really hoping for some Danny Gray cards. I don't see anything like that on eBay. Unfortunately, we're going to be stuck to just drafting him in the 20th round of Underdog Fantasy, which is what we're doing next, people. Starting in just a couple minutes. Ooh. We're going to sign off here. Sign on to our other live stream. It's already out there in the YouTube universe. And why wait until because you saw Halo's Finest got it. I'm not going to buy a card that's clear and obvious snipe whenever I know that the reason why I'm presenting it is to give you guys the opportunity to buy it first. So I'm not going to snipe it straight away, but if it's still there in the morning, then heck yeah, I am. I'm going to capitalize on it. But you can see, shout out to Halo's Finest. He already picked it up, man. And that was a nice snipe. Very nice snipe.
And I saw that there was some Panini instant cards of him. I don't know if you saw that.
Nate Newcomer. Welcome, Nate. I don't know if that's your actual last name or if that's a moniker, but Nate's a newcomer to the quest, man. Welcome to the quest. I have not seen you here. He said, do you guys think 2020 Prism football box a good investment considering the loaded QB class? Yeah, the only thing is, like, if you're buying 2020 Prism football boxes now, you're paying you're paying an arm and a leg, man. Those things are expensive. I think like a blaster box from 2020 Prism is like $120 now, Steve, whereas 2021 Prism also has 6 relevant quarterbacks that are very hyped up, not proven. None of them are proven yet. But they are hyped up, and there's a lot of first round and even Davis Mills in that category. That's why I say top 6. 2021 Prism blaster boxes are only like $40, $50 still. There's definitely a big opportunity there to invest in 2021 sealed Prism product and flip that.
I mean, it's not going to be cheap, but if you're already holding it, you would continue to hold it for sure. Yeah. And it probably will continue to rise as the Burrow and Herberts and anyone else from that draft class continue to rise. If some more people come, Justin Jefferson's in there, anyone else continues to ascend, I mean, those boxes only get more and more expensive.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, another RB1 season.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
you've got one of the best receivers in the league and the best running back in the league hypothetically in there, and then maybe the 2 best QBs in the league in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, it's loaded. It's loaded with talent. Skill position talent is just loaded, man, loaded. So, all right, guys, great stream. Appreciate you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Nate Newcomer, we're out of here. We're hopping over to the best ball draft. Let's go, Steve.
Let's go, guys. Hop in with us if you want, or just hop over and watch and see if we can maybe win a couple bucks.
Yeah, man. Hey, $200,000 to first place in this best ball tournament. It's like a paid mock draft. Let's do it, Steve. Hopping over. See you guys there. Peace.